the Call to Cinema. Well, we're mostly always live. If you didn't check out last night's 2 videos, I did put up 2 short videos last night here to, because basically I wanted to put some stuff up, and since my videos are almost always live, having like non-live content is sort of like think of it as bonus features on a Blu-ray or UHD disc. All right, with that being said, I want to first, before I do anything, is give a shout out to my patrons, and I do have a new one, which I am very excited about, actually. So there's Action Jackman. I'm going to scream. Hey guys. Dr. Mark Scientist, Ryan, and the other Ryan, Shadow Price, and my brand new patron, Lisa Crow. So thank you so much, Lisa, and everybody there, because damn, yes, it's nice to be noticed and recognized. Tonight, what we're doing is a video that is specifically inspired by a podcast and a really, really good episode of a podcast. So if you have not yet started listening to Just to This podcast, I will strongly recommend that right now. Brian Sauer and Stephanie Crawford did an amazing job with doing some underrated Scream Factory releases, which inspired me to make this video. So if they had not made this video, I would not be able to crib that and actually make that a podcast, make the video that I'm right now. You don't know what I'm on the show. No, I understand. Steph is amazing on it. And so, Just to This podcast, by the way, if you're watching this and you have not subscribed and you're not listening to Just to This podcast, you're doing yourself a great disservice. Check it out. And while you're there, they have another podcast called Pure Cinema with Brian and Elric Kane. And you get some big guests on there like Eli Roth and Quentin Tarantino. And with that being said, let's start into this list. This is a shorter video tonight because I do work tomorrow, because it's a Friday. I have some boxings hopefully coming up around the 13th or 14th. I'm impatiently waiting it too, but it's good. I mean, I've actually triple feature, like, look behind the curtain. I've actually taped a couple for with Brian, but they weren't like anything that had to be like they weren't like because the release was coming, it didn't have to be right away. So they'll eventually get out there. And Brian's amazing at editing and making me sound better than I am, so that's always good. So tonight we're doing a kind of like a 10 like underrated, underlooked Scream Factory list. Basically, I don't think I've done any of the titles that they did on the no, I don't think I've done any of the titles that they've done. So we're going to look into that right now. To try to get me to get YouTube Premium. I said no, they better have stopped that, because I'm not going on to YouTube Premium because let's be honest, at the amount of stuff that I do here on YouTube, I should be getting Premium. That should be free. When you're a YouTuber and you've done over 2,000 videos, YouTube Premium should be something that you get for free. Hey Alan, welcome, by the way. I can't stay too long, don't worry. Hey Amy. So I have 10 Scream Factory releases. I challenged myself not to use any of the collector's editions, not to use any of the double features, but I cheated with the double features. I do have one double feature here. But what I looked towards doing was pick 10 ones that most people wouldn't choose for the Scream Factory best of list, 10 that you may have overlooked. I got everything from slashers to gothic to some women in prison. So just a bit of everything here. And one that includes one of my favorite actors of all time. Good Mary. Good evening, Mary. So I have 10 in my hand right now, and I just realized, I can fit. Hands are bigger than I thought. All right, let's start off with a classic. There's going to be some slashers here. But first we're going to start with the classic one. A film that it's just so good. And I initially had this one on a Anchor Bay set. And you're going to know what set that is as soon as I show this, by the way. Jack's Back, which I don't have in my collection, by the way. I got a Laserdisc of Jack's Back, but I don't have the Scream Factory edition yet. And I will tell you right now, Jack's Back is an incredibly fun film. So if that's one you're looking into, definitely pick it up. It gets my recommendation as well. It's one that I remember from my youth. James Spader is always amazing. He's really good in Jack's Back. Yes, please like the vid. It's much appreciated. And for the guys that like took the time out, took the 30 minutes out to watch the other two videos that I did last night, thank you so much for that. It's really appreciated. I did a Halloween one, and I was surprised that a short 20-minute video got over 300 views today, and I did not expect that. So thank you so much. It's from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys. All right, let's start off. You liked Halloween? Good. I'm a little tired. I'm gonna have to get some I may have to get a Coke, guys. I don't have any bottles of Coke left. Just look, see, all gone. But I might have like one of those plastic bottles, which I'm not a fan of. I hate plastic bottles, by the way. That's why you always see me drinking my cola. Oh, I can't say. Well, right, can't say. So I drink my cola out of a glass bottle because glass bottles are delicious. All right. So first off is Nosferatu, the vampire, whichever way you want to go with that. So this is Werner Herzog, and of course that is the great Klaus Kinski. And the role, I had this initially in an Anchor Bay set, a Herzog Kinski Anchor Bay set. Definitely tons of atmosphere, just a beautifully shot film, very lyrical. Klaus Kinski was made to play this role. So I was recently watching, of course, Batman, the 1989 Batman, and they talked about like how when they were casting the Joker, there was no choice. It had to be Jack Nicholson. He was just born for the role. Well, much of the way Max Schreck originally was when the first one came out in the Stalin era, Klaus Kinski was born to play the role of Nosferatu. Here's ordered two Best Buys. See what Planet Terror and Death Proof. That's actually a good price. Now there is this does have the English language and the German language version of the film on here. There is an audio commentary with Werner Herzog, which I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I've ever listened to the commentary, which is a shame because I really, really enjoy listening to Werner Herzog. And of course there's a vintage making of Nosferatu on here as well. It is a gorgeous little film. If you have not picked this one up, I definitely recommend it. It's actually in Morocco right now. You can see the alternate artwork right there. There's the black cover and there's the white cover. And if you had this back, hey there, Scholar. Hey there, Michael. If you had this back in the VHS like days, in the Anchor Bay VHS days, I think there was two editions, and one was the black cover and one was the white cover. So actually, that's kind of a throwback to the whole Anchor Bay era. Now for the first slasher in this group, and it's a favorite of mine. Does it really? I can kind of see that though. Have it on Laserdisc. That is so cool. I don't have enough Laserdisc yet. But I have a few, and one of these days I'll revisit my Laserdisc. What I'll do is my alternate media collection, and I'll show them off my VHS, my Laserdiscs. So that'll be a little bit different. So we'll do that one of these days soon, because I am keeping doing my collection videos, and that's gonna be part of it. All right. So this one is a holiday themed slasher film. And it is, you found Sleepaway Camp for $15. I hope you picked it up, man, because that is so cool. That is a really great price. And it's such a good movie. But so is this one, because this one is pure evil. New Year's Evil. A slasher film that completely, pretty much, pushes the final girl aside and decides instead, you know what? We're going to focus on the killer and how badly he's going to mess up what he's doing. We're going to show you who the killer is, but we're not going to tell you who the killer is. So there'll be a little bit of reveal at the end of the film. It is pretty well done, actually. And one of the things that I love about this film is that the killer is not some like stealthy, stocky person that always gets his guy. So if you thought that Scream invented the kind of the klutzier killer that kind of messes up, New Year's Evil did it first, and it is actually kind of fun. It plays with different tropes of horror. Hey there, Dave. And it kind of pokes fun at the critics that call these here films misogynistic in the in a big way. Hey there, Gore. And if you never picked up on that, that's kind of what they're doing with New Year's Evil, by making the killer so overtly like like that. That's kind of like a dig at the Siskel and Ebert days. So on here we got an audio commentary with the director, Emmett Alston, new interview with actors Kip Nevin, Grant Kramer, and Taffy O'Connell, and director of photography Thomas Ackerman, and of course the infamous theatrical trailer. So this is a really fun one, and basically it's got a neat little concept. There's the alternate artwork. That's sort of, yeah, in that the killer has decided that he's going to be really clever and he's going to kill a victim on every New Year's Eve time zone. Don't think about that too much, because if you do, you're going to realize it doesn't make any sense, but that's okay. Go along for the ride. It's a fun little movie. And especially there's one sequence where he kidnaps this girl and you think she's going to be a victim, and she kind of like, basically she's trying to get out of it, like offering herself up. Kind of similar to, there's like a scene in Summer Party Massacre 3 that's sort of similar, but not as cringy in this one. And it doesn't work out for him anyway. Like literally she does get away. Spoiler alert. All right. Next up, I wanted to bring in an anthology film. And the one from my youth, one from my childhood, one that I've seen many, many times. And did I see this one in theater, or did I see this one on the Super Channel? I'm trying to remember. I think I saw this in theater, but I can't remember. So I saw this when it came out, and this was when I was up. Can print a definitive list from the side. That's a good idea. And this is Nightmares. Nightmares is really, really fun. Yeah, I'm back. This is annoying the hell of me, Dave. You can tell by now it is, right? I'm coming back and I'm like more peeved every time. Like one of these times I'm going to be green and go to the Hulk. There's 4 really cool stories. My personal favorite is, like, I know a lot of people love the video game story, even with the kind of the cheesy like graphics of like what would be the video game graphics of that day. I like the first story. I don't know. I mean, like with Scream Factory, it's so hard to tell like what's in and out of print on a daily basis. Like at this point, I think there's some more Scream Factories going out of print, and like I just can't keep up with it. If I miss out, I miss out at this point. But I try to grab things whenever I can, and I have like certain things like I'm trying to collect right now, so it's making it even harder. So this is Nightmares. I love the first story with Christina Rains. Pretty much it is that classic urban legend. Oh, Get Escape from New York, you don't have it. That's a really good one. Bucker Bonds is going to print. I actually get so many times can pick that up. Even the steelbook was like $18 and I didn't pick it up. That's my dumb ass. So basically she's going out for a pack of cigarettes, and there's a madman on the loose. And she thinks the madman might be following her in this truck, because every time the truck gets really close, he puts his beams on really high. And you know what happened. You know what it is. You know. It's a classic urban legend. So that's the first story. We have one here with a guy played by Milo Estevez that gets sucked into a video game, where he has to face the Bishop of Battle. The third one has Lance Henriksen against an evil truck that kind of like getting back his faith through Satan. He's a kind of a defrocked priest. And the fourth one is Veronica Cartwright with one of my favorite things, and that is Killer Rats in Night of the Rats. So check this out. This has 2 versions, both a widescreen and a full-frame edition of the film, an audio commentary with executive producer Andrew Marish and actress Christina Rains, and a theatrical trailer. So actually pretty cool. So you first saw that urban legend? We used to like tell stories. I used to tell urban legends around like when we used to go camping. and I was the king of them. I would like tell the creepiest stories. And one night it was so bad. I'm a horrible person. We had like one guy who was like a couple years younger than us, and he used to tag along a lot. He was a really nice guy, but you know when you're older, like you're a teen, and there's like someone that's a little bit younger than you. So I purposely like went out to put the scare in, and I did. Like we were out camping, and he actually went home to. I'm so horrible. I feel bad. Okay, 90s classic, highly underrated, and great soundtrack as well, by the way. And that is Disturbing Behavior. We got James Marsden, Katie Holmes, and Nick Stahl, who steals the show. Did you just hear my really Canadian accent just come in when I said the name Disturbing Behavior? Because it so came in there for a second. It like really like caked on. So this is a really cool one. Basically, hey there, Joe. It is exactly what you think it is. It's kind of like a teen sort of. How would you put this again? Kind of like a Stepford Wife. So there is a Stepford teen. So kind of like that. It has an audio commentary with the director David Nutter on here, deleted scenes, and the infamous alternate ending. Which ending did you like best? I love this film. I think Katie Holmes is actually stunning in this one, and it's just good. It's so good. And what's really good, like an older cast too. You got Bruce Greenwood, who's a fantastic Canadian actor. He's been in a lot of things, and of course the great William Sadler is in here as well, and he's brilliant in this film. I just wish if I have any complaints with this film, I wanted more William Sadler in this film because he's so good in the role that he does, and there's so much behind his character that you don't get to know. All right. Let's do a women in prison flick. A really good one. One that Scream Factory was going to put out, but almost didn't. A lot of rats and not there is actually. Hey, there's a theme here. But like all movies be restored in 4K. Yes, because all movies really can do it. Because 4K is not about making a movie the polishing it up or like to make it look shinier. 4K is meant to make a movie look like it did in the theater. And I think that's where people like kind of make mistakes when it comes to 4K. People say, well, what do we need like 4K movies like the older movies? How can they be made to look any better? Do we really want them to look better? It's not about making them look better. It's about making them look and sound as authentic to the theater as they can do. And that's what a good 4K does. Halloween's a great case where the film actually looks a bit darker, but the Blu-ray is actually artificially brightened, and even with the darker sequences in the new Halloween UHD, the 1978 Halloween, you can actually see more stuff in the sequences. Older 4K releases are the stuff to go for, way over the newer stuff. So if you're new to 4K, the older releases, if they're done well, those are the ones that are going to shine in your system. But theater better, not DNR better. Hellhole is an amazing little film. And you know what really makes this good? Ray Sharkey. The late Ray Sharkey is in this one here. He plays the psychotic character, and he is brilliant in this film. And this has a really good cast too. We got Judy Landers in here. We got Edie Williams in the film. The great Mary Warnow, who I'm utterly entranced with. I love Mary Warnow. So anytime I get to see her in a film, that adds so much more to me. And Hellhole, if you have not checked it out, it really is a hidden gem that I recommend you check out. Exactly, Scholar. If it's shot on film, it'll look great if they do it right, because basically they have film elements, as opposed to if it's shot on digital and it's newer, it's only going to look so much better anyway because it's already shot on digital. Like there's not a lot of play, not a huge like room of like growth room there. as like in my opinion anyway, as there would be with an older film, where it can be a revelation to see it. Think of it like if you just had a VHS tape of like a certain film, like an older film, and all of a sudden you got it on Blu-ray, and you're like, wow, this looks so much better. That's the way I see it. Okay, now this one is stacked full of special features. It is one that I honestly think not enough people have in their collection, and they definitely should have. 110% should have. If it seems like I'm going through these fairly fast, there's a reason for that. I mean, I'm kind of tired tonight, so this is going to be a shorter video than I normally do. So you got questions, get them in. This is The Seduction. It is a fantastic film with a great cast. Morgan Fairchild has never looked better than she does in this one right here. Michael Sarrazin is great in this film. Andrew Stevens is creepy as hell in this film, and in such a good way. Vince Edwards has a small but significant role in the film, and it is good. It is a really good film. It's an early stalker film before the stalker laws were definitely passed, and it was kind of like one of the early ones to really talk about that. Feature-wise, it's really well done. When they just say new interview with Morgan Fairchild, that's really underrated because it's a great long interview with Fairchild. Andrew Stevens and Bruce Cohen Curtis. There's an audio commentary with the producer Irwin Yablans and Bruce Cohen Curtis and writer-director David Schmuller. Remembering the Seduction featurette. Remember the Locations production featurette. Remember the Seductions and the Law featurette. And Still Gallery and Theatrical trailer. Oh, she is top-notch in this film, man. So if you like Morgan Fairchild at all, you really owe it to yourself to own this film. You will see Morgan Fairchild's in this film in her peak, both in acting and just she looks incredible. And Stevens does a really good creepy role in this one here. Basically, Morgan Fairchild plays this anchor woman, and she's getting like these calls and gifts and that, and she doesn't know who it's from, and it's from Andrew Stevens, who has been who's been stalking her, and it escalates very, very quickly. So here's the picture of a very young Morgan Fairchild right there. There's a swimming pool scene. You're gonna remember it. Do I have any snap? I hate when that happens to me. I hate it so much. All right. They had the technology all along. This sounds like I'm picturing Bionic Man, right? We can rebuild him. We have the technology. All right, this is the only double feature. I told you I cheated with one double feature in here. But I'm focusing on one film. Both of these films are really good. But this is The Destroyer, Edge of Sandy double feature. And I like them both. But I love Edge of Sandy because I love Anthony Perkins. When I was growing up and I wanted to get into acting, one of the people that I looked towards was Anthony Perkins. It was like me. He was lanky and skinny and still was able to capture some really amazing roles. And I did definitely early on model myself after this actor right here. What is The Destroyer? Are you serious? Have you not seen The Destroyer? Oh, it's so cool, cheesy. Because both of these have Anthony Perkins, Anthony Perkins is in The Destroyer too. So Lalo Zito, the football player. Yeah, this is Lalo Zito, the football player, and of course he had the show Learning the Ropes. Yeah, that's the one with Lalo Zito. So basically, he's a killer. He's what's that? He gets electrocuted or something like that. He's Deborah Foreman's in this one. Clayton Rohner is in this one as well. Perkins is the director. There, as you can see, Rohner right there in the back. Rohner did like a few slasher and horror type films. He's underrated actually. I am going to scream. I'm going to scream. That's what I'm going to do. Hey there. So, yeah, my Wi-Fi is totally in the wrong here, Alan. I want to kick my Wi-Fi's ass. So, by the way, doing a video soon on Mill Creek. That video, that's going to be upstairs. Because shag this all to hell. All right, so underrated sequels. Because I wanted to do one of those too. I wanted to make sure that I put one of them in there. And I really like this one. And it is Urban Legend Final Cut. Now, Urban Legend itself is extremely underrated. The Eastern Earlobe. I think there might be actually shades of like a certain boxer. So this is actually, Urban Legend is an underrated slasher in itself. Urban Legend Final Cut, the sequel to Urban Legend, has always been extremely underrated. The best scene in this film, actually, was never meant to be in this film at all. And you know this scene because it's that Urban Legend that we all know about, the one where you wake up, it's kind of cold, you feel ice around you, you're in a bathtub, and oh yes, that scene is gloriously brilliant. Hey, Danuge, man, welcome. You've never seen Final Cut? Oh, you got to see Final Cut. It doesn't have as much Urban Legend killings in it as the original, but it has a really cool cast, actually. Jennifer Morrison's in this one. Anthony Anderson's in here. Joseph Lawrence. And Hart Bachner, who I love from, like, he's a Canadian actor. Lloyd Bachner was his dad. He's in a lot of stuff. He's the voice, basically. But Hart Bachner was in, of course, Terror Train. So have you ever seen the movie Terror Train before? Hart Bachner is the, kind of the lead, like kind of the jerky guy that causes the horrible stuff to happen in Terror Train. No, you heard right. That scene. Boo. All right. Yeah, my Ernest McCrabb now, as you can tell. But, oh, did you ask if that was Eva Mendes? Yeah, that's Eva Mendes. Right there. A great cast in the film. This is like, I'm scared to say anything. I'm scared it's going to go on me again. It's going to be like, ha ha. Anyway, great features on this one here. Interviews with Loretta Devine, Jessica Caulfield, Rebecca Gayhart, producer Gina Matthews, Urban Legend writer Sylvia Horta, Phoenix Pictures chairman, CEO Mike Medavoy, and you got to keep checking, and more. Audio commentary with director John Ottman, deleted scenes with optional commentary, making of featurettes, gag reel, and theatrical trailer. Really cool film. And I love the look of the killer in Urban Legend. And part two, there was actually 3 Urban Legend films. This third one is not a slasher film. It's actually one called Bloody Mary, and it's more of a supernatural one. I don't like that one as much. But this is the look of the killer. And I like the look. Hello. You probably remember me from like 5 seconds ago before this glitched out. So I know Untitled Summer is actually very good. The sequel not so much, but there's certain things I like about it. I know Untitled Summer is completely underrated. All right. I'll get through these two, but hopefully before it goes again. Gothic horror, and one that doesn't get talked about a lot, and this is Lust of a Vampire. This isn't a Christopher Lee one. It's Mike Raven. If you like your Hammer to be a little more sexy and a little bit, a little bit more risque, then no, you didn't hear me, mishear me. That was actually thing. That scene wasn't originally supposed to be in the film. It was shot later, and you can find out all about that if you get the Urban Legend Final Cut. Dog Soldiers, unfortunately, Logan, can't be bought here in Canada because rights issues doesn't let it come to across the Canadian border. So, and it is a fantastic film, by the way. So Lust gets a new 4K scan, new audio commentary with Bruce Hellenbach, new interview with actress Mel Churcher, audio commentary by director Jimmy Sangster. Actress Suzanne Lee and Hammer Films historian Marcus Hearn. I like him sometimes. Sometimes he gets on my nerves. Theatrical trailer, radio spots, and stills gallery. And it is a fun little film. Is it their best? No, not even, not remotely their best. But I enjoy it for what it is. It is cheesy, kind of like really Hammer going into like strongly into the exploitation, like genre, like aspect of it, where they were were getting a little bit more risque with their stuff. And last but not least, before this damn internet goes again, is Scream for Help. I wanted this one. Same Lust for Remember, the same plot as Blood. Well, similar, but not really the same. See, Lust is Lust part of the trilogy, the Karnstein? I think Lust is part of the Karnstein trilogy. See, they did the later ones they did. Blah blah blah. I'll get out. The later vampire ones he did sort of a Camilla trilogy. So there was like, God, there's 3 of them all together. Yeah. But in Lust we have we don't have Pitt in Lust. I don't think we got Jut Stensgaard, who's actually very, very attractive. But Scream for Help. Love this film. It is equal parts freaky and sleazy. And it's like a very, very sleazy, almost like I'm not sure what you're gonna put, like TV movie of the week. But don't let that steer you away, because it's not. There's nudity galore in this, and it is going to be extremely different. Why? Why is this going to be a bit sleazier than your average run-of-the-mill teen slasher type? Like, I think My Stepfather maybe not all that he says he is. Well, it's directed by Michael Winner, and if that doesn't give away that this movie is going to be a slightly more on the razor line sleazy side, then welcome to the world of Michael Winner, who was famous for taking a film and saying, all right, we could go with the normal way, but can't we kind of, the Death Wish guy, the Death Wish 2 guy, so can't we just make it so that, a little more titillating, and also at the same time make you want to kind of take a shower afterwards? So welcome to Scream for Help. Oh yeah, this is one of my movie rooms. This is I guess my main movie library. I have a TV room as well, where I have all my TV shows, and upstairs I have some glass display cases where I put some of my bigger stuff. And I have also up in my work study, I have like a small area there where I got like a 55-inch 3D TV and like a small area of like a bookcase there, and I kind of move movies in and out when I'm watching things, and that's where my computers are. So I work on an iMac for a lot of my stuff there, and when I'm writing or doing some other stuff, then I do that on my my Nitro 5, which was one that I got to go to school with, and then school idea, they didn't get to do that, but I already done school, so I didn't want to go back. You mean Bad Moon? Bad Moon's a great film. See, this here, what's ironic is that although upstairs we have the modem, and we got the high-speed modem, we're paying for a high-speed modem. We actually let our internet go, we let our cable go, like completely, and our phone, so we could have the best internet possible in our house. And like everybody else right now, a bit of struggle, right? You know what I mean. So, see, Logan, mine is still in processing. So I'm looking forward to getting that come. And by the way, for those that just came in here, this video right now is inspired by the Just to This podcast and the episode that Brian and Stephanie just did on underrated Scream Factory releases that I definitely think you guys should listen to. I'm actually going to be doing a video, Joe, eventually, because I'm going to be doing I was going to call it Forgotten Franchises, then Cinemassacre took that one. So I'm trying to think of a new name, but I'm doing kind of like franchise videos I'll be doing like the Howling series, Prophecy, Hellraiser. That's going to be a painful one. And yeah, a few others actually. Howling 2. Howling 2 is fun. It's got some, and of course the Wrong Turn series, which actually Dead Meat just did. So I got to go rewatch those because actually I can't, because I find out if I rewatch it, then I'm worried that some of it's going to bleed over into what I'm doing, and I don't want to be like, I want to be inspired, but I don't want to be influenced to change something that I might not say, or I might say in a different way, which is shameful because I love Dead Meat's videos. If you haven't checked him out, by the way, really, really good YouTuber. Now, because there was a time when I worked with like with other YouTubers and stuff like that on like some other stuff. Dead Meat. It's James L. Janice, and he does James L. Janice. So he's got the Dead Meat podcast, and he has Dead Meat where he does the kill count. And right now, like he's doing your favorite scary movies, and he's talking to a lot of like WWE wrestlers and stuff like that. Because when he goes to a lot of conventions, and he's a wrestling fan too, he gets to meet some of them. So he's had people like Alexa Bliss on, and Baron Corbin and people like that talking about what their favorite horror films are. And you see a big correlation between wrestling and horror films because a lot of wrestlers are diehard horror fans, and a lot of wrestling fans are diehard horror fans. So that's kind of like, and a lot of horror fans are diehard wrestling fans. Love old school animation. Me too. I was actually talking to somebody at my workplace. One at my workplace said, I got a call today, and we were talking because she was homeschooling her kids, and one of the things that she was doing, this is a really cool mom, was she was teaching them stop motion animation, and that is bloody brilliant. One, love the whole homeschooling thing. Two, you're teaching your kids stop motion animation. That's pretty awesome. Following 1980s, 1990s anime. I love anime. Something that my better half knows more about anime than me, though. The rest are like blood-sucking freaks. To each their own. I'm not a huge fan. Do I watch gory Disney animation? What is gory Disney animation? I can't think of gory Disney animation. Akira, yeah. When I was in college, of course, I watched a lot of this stuff. Now you have to remember, back when I was in college, we went on dinosaurs and stuff like that. But basically, what would happen is you would get like the anime would come, but there would be no subtitles, right? No dubbing, no subtitles. You'd have to find out, like you have to try to figure it out yourself. So first time I saw Akira, there was no subtitling. First time I saw The Dirty Pair, there was no subtitling. First time I saw a lot of those early ones, there was no subtitling. The only anime that I saw that had like dubbing or subtitling on it back then was stuff like like Astro Boy or Robotech, stuff like that. Horror Disney, you mean like Watcher in the Woods type thing? The Black Cauldron, yeah, it's definitely pretty dark. Cowboy Bebop is my better half's favorite. Not fan of Blood-Sucking Freaks either. Yeah, I don't think. Does it have a lot of fans? I mean, like really? I mean, like curios. But is there any people out there that are really, anybody here, by the way, is like, Halloween, Friday 13th, The Exorcist, they're okay, but Blood-Sucking Freaks, that's my jam. So, I've never met that person, but I'm sure they're out there. They're definitely out there. I like Wallace and Gromit too. And I like Gumby, of course. And of course, Eddie Murphy's Gumby, which also pretty cool. So I'm not going to make this an overly long video. So if you guys have any questions, ask these questions. Have I seen the Cowboy Bebop film? If it's you're talking the animated one, yeah, she's seen it all. Have I? I don't think I saw the series, but I don't think I've seen the film. If you mean like a live action thing, that's being done now, but I don't think it's finished. and I'm not looking forward to that. What animation do I not like? There's a lot I don't like. A lot of the lazy stuff that came out in the aughts, like the early 2000s, stuff like Angela Anaconda and stuff like that, that I just found look really lazy. It was like a style of animation that I didn't really like, and a lot of the early like computer animation, I was a big fan of Reboot, and that's actually probably hasn't aged well. But a lot of the early Disney computer animation stuff, I was really kind of pushing against. Well, yeah, it really seemed like anybody could do. The Final Terror is a fantastic underrated gem. Now, listen to the Just a Disc episode, a podcast, where this video is inspired by. And ones that I haven't mentioned, by the way, are mentioned there. And the final, I was not sure it's the Final Terror, or I know they mentioned Final Exam. Did they mention Final Terror? I like Final Terror, actually. It's got Joe Pantoliano in it. And, of course, Darahan, Adrian Zmed. Really good film. Definitely underrated. So 110% agree with that. No, Alan, I still don't have any adult releases from Synapse. But again, when you last time you asked that question, it was going out, so that's probably why you didn't hear me. I love heavy metal. Heavy metal is based on of course, a magazine that was really, really good and a very influential part of my childhood and my better half's childhood as well, because it originated over in France. It was called Metal Hurlant, and it was brought over here to North America under to be put out as Heavy Metal Magazine. It was filmed in Canada. The animation was done in Canada, which is the reason that you got like a strong Canadian like cast, including the voice of Dan being done by John Candy. So most of SCTV's cast is in the movie Heavy Metal, and it has one of the great scores, one of the great music scores. I love the score, like some good Rush in there, some fantastic music in Heavy Metal. Hey there, Jason. What's my favorite segment? I do kind of like, I'm a big fan of Den, so I do kind of like the Den segment. But I think it's probably more the kind of like the neo noir segment. I kind of like that one. Now, I wasn't as big on the second heavy metal one, the one, what's it called, FAC or something like that? But and I think that's the one that used a lot of like Julie Strain, and I do love Julie Strain. She was the cover like model for a lot of heavy metal magazine. I actually got to meet in person a girl that did a lot of cover art for like fantasy magazine stuff, named Drakinia, and really extremely beautiful woman. She talked to my better half like a lot more than she talked to me actually, because they both speak French. With this trial. You got the video game? Fact, that's the video game I'm thinking about too. Do I have the Metal Hurlant live action series? I've seen a little bit of it, Alan, but I actually don't own it. Was it ever put out? Because I know it was really short lived. So if it's got a release, I mean, it will probably have a release in France, but I'm not quite sure if it's got a release over here. I'm honestly unaware of it, because it is something that I would have. Look, I got the 2 seasons of Femme Fatale, and nobody remembers that series, but I got it in my collection. Learning her, it is. Do I speak French? Very little, Jason. Je m'appelle Aaron. There you go. That's French. I'm trying to learn it, and it's very, very difficult. Is when I'm older, it makes it harder to learn. But my kids are amazing with picking up languages. My youngest speaks Korean and a bit of Japanese, and my oldest speaks Japanese. Creme brulee. God, is it sad that creme brulee makes me think of High School Musical? It does. I'm not joking. I have kids. I'm using that as an excuse. No, I got that High School Musical song stuck in my head. Thank you. You speak some German. I did a little bit of German when I was in grade 7, but I don't remember it hardly at all. And speaking a foreign language, it can be hard to learn. The best way to do it is to immerse yourself in it. So if you can go to a place where that language is being spoken, like just even if you got a little bit of passing, like knowledge of it, just really That's one of the best ways to learn. Sylvie Sylvie Vartan. That sounds familiar. I think my better half actually had played some of her. My better half, like she speaks French and Arabic and English and a few different languages. Have a great evening there, Scholar. I gotta go soon too because I do work tomorrow. I've never seen it anywhere actually, Alan. So that be if I ever come across it, I'll buy it. But I haven't seen it anywhere. Foreign films is a good way to learn. It's a good way to like to pick up on some things. Like I know from watching a lot of like the Italian giallos I do that I have picked up certain things, and I'll hear it like because I never watch with English dubs. I can't stand dubbing. Uh, it'd have to be like one movie from my youth that I would have to listen to like to dubbing on. That I listened to when I was a kid and when I went to see that kind of cheesy dubbing. If I have the choice, I will 120% always choose to have the subtitles on because I want to hear the way that they actually are saying the words. Do you watch Arabic movies? I don't, I don't know a lot of Arabic films. I mean, like honestly, I've probably seen just as many as my better half, and she does know that. But I can't really think of any right now, like off the top of my head. I've seen a couple, I guess, and probably more than I realize. Oh, I hate when they do that. When they just give you the dub. I always got to go for the subtitles. The only time I do a dub is if I'm listening to a movie over a second or third time, and I'm reviewing it, and I'm taking notes, and that does happen a bit. When I was, and that doesn't even have to be like. The John the Strain. It's got you ready. You're good now. See, sometimes watching those type of movies, they give you a little bit more hope. You're like, whoa, that's what happened there. I think I'll survive after all. To watch Chinese, Japanese, or Indian films, all of the above. I like Mondo Macabre. I watch a lot of their stuff. Why did this stop on me? I gotta see. Come on. I had to close up my. One of your least favorite dubs is Django. Who didn't his voice in Terran dub? Yeah, I mean, like now more modern, like maybe more modern films are. You seem like they're actually trying, like to do, like a decent dub. But a lot of like the early ones, like sometimes they get really lazy with it. That's why when Mill Creek put out like Ultraman, I'm a big Ultraman fan. Like for those guys that haven't figured it out by now, I'm big into Takatsu, something that I rarely talk about on my channel, but I am. So basically, when they put it out with the subtitles, and a lot of people were really peeved. They're like, "What's this, Ultraman? I gotta read this." And, yeah, you gotta read it. It's kind of a thing you gotta do. Reading's important. Did I order Sins of the Flesh? I did not yet. Not yet. I got a lot that I need to order. Your Wrath of God was originally spoken. I was watching in German too, actually. So, Reservoir Dogs guest. I almost picked it up a while back, actually, about a year or so ago. The last thing, well, I've got a couple that hopefully, if it comes out on time, there's a couple releases that are coming on the 18th of October from a certain company that I pre-ordered that hopefully should, I love Reservoir Dogs, that should be here for a very big unboxing, a very big unboxing that I want to do here, and there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to dive into with that. Very big. Amy knows what it is, don't you? What's the most variable movie in my collection? See, can go two ways some, because it can be most variable in is like which movie's worth the most, and that I honestly don't know because I'm not a person that flips, so I never keep track of what's out of print or anything like that. I really should because I can do like an out of print video, that kind of thing. Good friend, if you're still here, Logan Toxic did a really good like out of print video. But like as for most valuable, honestly, like I love my Halloween box set. There's certain movies I got in my collection that are priceless to me that aren't out of print or anything like that. Any edition of Black Christmas that I got actually, except for the 2006 one, because shag that movie. My first DVD that I ever picked up was a double feature, artisan double feature of Wishmaster and Wishmaster 2, and because I picked up two at the same time, and I picked up Monty Python and the Holy Grail. First Blu-ray that I ever picked up, I honestly don't remember at all. The rare films. How many Laserdiscs do I have? You'll find out soon because I'm going to. The mentioning of the Laserdisc actually inspired me to actually do a collection video with Laserdiscs and VHS. So a lot of cool stuff coming. Wishmaster. As you wish. I love the fact that Andrew Divoff, who's in the first two films, would like eat like black jelly beans to like make his voice more raspier. Aaron fact, little known Aaron fact. When the first film that I ever wrote that actually got made, it's really crappy. I hope you guys never see it. When they sent a picture of like at a convention, because they were sending them at a convention, they sent me a picture of Andrew Divoff holding the film. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. The Wishmaster is holding a film that I wrote. And then I saw it and I thought, oh my God, the Wishmaster is holding a film that I wrote. I hope he's never seen it. Oil got the win. Like that was just like taken off for a bit, wasn't it? You don't have to, trust me, it's painful, man. It was painful for me and I literally wrote the thing. Do you know what the name of it was? You want to name it because you can't find it online. And you can only even find like the poster of it if you use the way back machine, by the way. But it's called Hell's Cemetery. Not joking. That's literally the name of it. Do I hate the title Hell's Cemetery? Yeah, it's okay. That's the least of what I hate about the film. That's the least. The least. Not recasting the lead actor when the lead actor passes away and instead just taking all his scenes out. That I don't like. Do I like the Hollywood system? To be honest, I was going to be an actor, and I spent most of my like formative years training for that, like everything from movement to voice. I did a lot of plays, like in school, like kind of the off Broadway type of stuff. Hey there, okay. But when I did, and you know, I got movies all around me. The only thing that I knew 100% for sure is I did not want to act in films. If I had to get like, you know, for money, if I needed to, I would do it, but I definitely didn't want to do film. I want to do stage. I would do soap opera because it changes every day, and it's more like a live thing. So that's just me. How snobby was that, right? How snobby was that? I love The Midnight Hour. It got Sherry Belafonte in it. That's kind of a horror musical, and it should be released. It definitely should be. Being Doctor Who, and see that's different. I do Doctor Who for sure. I wouldn't be the Doctor though, because you know I think the Doctor should have some sort of UK slant. It's got to be British or Scottish or Irish or something like that. Because I was asked recently, don't you think like a North American person could play Doctor Who? Nope, no I don't. Nope, just not. Makes me think of Bela Lugosi during Plan 9. There's a scene. So, a little bit about Hell's Cemetery, really quickly. There's a sequence at the beginning of the film where the father and the daughter kind of like the father's trying to he's always trying to assault the daughter in a very creepy way. So basically, they come to the standoff where basically she stabs him and he stabs her. When he stabs her, he stabs her through her up through her neck, and you can see the blade right here. So it's supposed to be like a quick scene where you kind of just see a glimmer of the blade type of thing, right? But instead, they don't cut. So you got this shot where he's stabbed, okay? She's like this, and it just lingers on it. And you can tell that they don't really know what to do. Like the film's not cutting, and at this point I think they're thinking, well, I guess they're going to cut it. They're just maybe getting some extra film. But it wasn't edited well, so you kind of see them slowly fall over. And this is a movie that I wrote, Dave. I'm not even joking, and it is hilariously bad, and it's not really their fault. It's like super awkward. It's like a Lynchian scene in Twin Peaks where it goes on just a little bit too long. But in that way, they're doing it on purpose. But in this one's not being done on purpose. It's just, and the guy that they chose to do this role was not an actor, but the guy that was directing it. Honestly, I probably would if I could find my copy of it, because I do actually have a copy of it here somewhere. But it's been a long time since I've seen it. And exactly. And he's like, but he found him, like basically he was going to the corner store and the guy was like going, like just getting his beer type thing, getting a 2-4 as we call it here in Canada, and he said, "You got the look," and I'm like, okay then. But yeah, it was his first film, so from what I remember, he did well on that. Like he brought to conventions and stuff like that. I actually made like a 24, like you get a 12 case of beer or a 24 case of beer. And here where I'm from, well, from Newfoundland, where we drink a bit, it was never a 6-pack or 12-pack. Usually it was a 24-pack over the weekend with your friends, and we called it a 2-4. 24 bottles, but no, not cans. Not back then. Like now, more so. Like if I'm gonna have a can, like I can't find it anymore. It used to be beer. I know maybe it's not being produced, but there's this really good Irish beer called Belhaven's Best, and it was like so good because it was really smooth, like super smooth. And I love if I'm gonna have a beer, like I want to, like I'm not like I don't drink a lot. I'm very I'm a light drinker, but like for me it's either I'm gonna have beer or maybe whiskey, something like that. They want a beer. I drink soda more than I do like beer and stuff like that. Just when I'm at tour. Went to Toronto once many years ago, and what was the name of the delicious crispy coffee? It was Coffee Crisp. It's actually in the name. It's Coffee Crisp, and they are delicious bars. One thing I got to say, I had a viewer once send me I love cider. Which one do you drink? Do you drink like Strongbow or? So it sent me a bunch of American chocolate bars, which I got to try, and I'm gonna put it out there. Our bars are better. I'm gonna say it now. Start the war. The Canadian, we got better bars. Well, we get Hershey here. When did I hit 2,000 subs? A while back. My sub count doesn't grow very quickly. I'm not a bigger channel. I will say a lot of bigger channels know about me, but unfortunately, that doesn't like give me like a lot of subscribers. I got like 2,500 or something like that, or 2,500 subscribers. A little bit over. Everybody does. I mean, like I'd be lying. I'd be an utter liar if I said I that I don't want a bigger channel. Everybody does. Like anybody on YouTube that'll look and say, "Oh, it's I love it." Yes, we're all in it for the love because let's be honest. Unless you're PewDiePie or something like that, you're not making a ton of money. That's not what YouTube's for anymore. You got to have the passion for it. Like you got to. But of course, I definitely I would love to have more subscribers, and I love the more subscribers. I love the more patrons. I love the more people that would hopefully like share, like Brian Cubicle over there shares my channel, shares my videos like through Facebook and sometimes through some people share the other Brian Sauer from Just to This podcast often shares it through Twitter, and that that's a that's a big deal to me, because that means somebody just took that extra couple seconds to just say, okay, this, I like the video, and like some people say, okay, I like it, and they'll hit the like button, and other people, I like the video, and I want other people to see it. Strongbow Summersby, oh yeah, good choices actually. I like craft beer. I do. How like trendy is that? I like craft beer, but I actually do. Big channels don't have time to reply to their subscribers. Well, the good thing is that no matter how big this channel gets, it's probably not going to get that much bigger. I mean, I'm hoping that maybe the podcast, the one I eventually get to do that, will actually add onto that. I got to say that being on Heath's channel, it's a much bigger channel, Serial at Midnight, and being on like Just to This podcast, for instance, both of those things really, really were big in like helping gain a viewership, a viewer base. And early on, there was a YouTuber, Absolute Sublime, and he had me on on his. He had me on, and when they were doing like the Halloween thing, like what movie scared you, and he had a bunch of YouTubers, and he asked that question, and you just send in the video basically saying what movie scared you, and he had me on 2 years in a row. I never forgot that because I was a channel. I was getting like 20 views on a good day at that point, so he had no reason to have me on there, but he did anyway, and I actually really appreciated it. Do I have AIDS in Canada? Oh, I was going to say, do I have LDs? I don't know. What are LDs? That really disturbed me for a second. I love I love Dr. Whitfield. I big fan. Do you eat wanker bars? I don't know what wanker bars are. I They sound familiar, but I don't think I have actually. But I think I've seen them on TV. Do you have Aldi's? Oh, it's a grocery store. No, we have like here the big grocery stores. We got our hey there, Adam, our Sobeys Superstore, which is also called Dominion in some areas, and those are the two big ones. But of course, we got like Super Walmarts with stuff like that. Wonka bars. Uh, Only when I'm looking for the golden ticket. Uh, Not a lot, actually. I've had Wonka candy and stuff like that, but not a lot of Wonka bars. We have Tim Hortons. We do. And we have here lots and lots of maple syrup all over the place. So, yeah, that's what we do all the time. We drink beer and maple syrup. When I was a kid, I moved to Alberta, and I loved Alberta actually. But Alberta, a lot of Alberta people didn't love me because I was from Newfoundland, and there's like the stereotype was that Newfoundland that we drank all the time and we stole their women. I'm not joking. That's what they thought. But yeah, I was like in grade 7. Whose woman am I going to steal in grade 7? Actually, I did. Scratch that. Scratch that. Oh yeah, definitely. Well, half of them up there are from Newfoundland anyway. So yeah, they do. Maybe in Canada. I don't say. I know. Do I wish to visit Hawaii? I would love to go to Hawaii. Actually, I would love to go there. Do we have Best Buy here? We do have Best Buy here. We used to have Future Shop, which is better than Best Buy, but Best Buy bought Future Shop out, and they just randomly just got rid of it, and which is a shame because Future Shop. See, Best Buy did like more like electronics and furniture stuff like that, and Best Buy used to do like a lot of and so Future Shop used to do like a lot of like movies. So you would find Screen Factory stuff there, and you would find nothing at Best Buy. Did I ever have? Oh, of course. I grew up. Well, I didn't grow up. Well, I was older a bit, but yeah, Blockbuster was part of my youth. Blockbuster, Jumbo Video. I went to a lot of the local mom and pop stores before those came around. And you know, people say like Blockbuster killed all the local mom and pop stores, but Blockbuster's gone. There's still a few local mom and pop video stores around. So Blockbuster didn't like totally kill them out. Come from way south. I think it's my mom, and saw that actually. You hear about Lebanon? Do you mean there's something in the news today? I didn't. I mean, I was working all day today. I barely. The only news I heard today, and I don't want to talk about it, is a certain thing by a certain New York Attorney General. That was big in the news. I would love to go to the last remaining Blockbuster. Like, Grant. I'll check it out. Actually, Green Cell exploded. It's not like graphically bad or anything, is it? Because I don't mind watching horror films, but some of that stuff actually bothers me. Hell Living Dead. I actually got that over there, man. Actually, it's a fun little film. Oh, Rogers. I used to work at Rogers actually, not the video rental place. So I used to work at like the in the sales department. So basically, if you were coming in to get like get a new Rogers, like you know, basically a Rogers receiver, or get a Razor phone. With the Razor phone was really big then. And I never say, yeah, never say is way better. Welcome to Rogers. How can I help you today? I had Kmart. I grew up in Kmart. Well, literally, we used to go see. We had this huge Kmart in my area, and when I was a kid, like I wandered out from my parents, and I went to like this little toy section, and then I got lost, and this lady came up to me and brought me over to the you know the counter, you know, where they basically go, they bring like lost kids, and they'll just ask you what your name is, and because I wanted to be very very, I was such a dramatic kid, but I wanted to be like really like cool about it. So I said my name, and I was like what, 5 or 6, even I wasn't even 5, maybe I was 4 or 5, and I said my name like in reverse. So it was, instead of like my first and last name, I said my last name first, and then my first name. So when they said it on the on the loudspeaker, that's what they said, was like my last name then my first name. So yeah, that's a thing. That's an Aaron thing. I was such a goofball. I worked at Zellers. I love Zellers. I miss Zellers like crazy. Woolworths. I remember Woolworths as well. Cause I'm ancient. One really cool thing about Kmart is I remember when like video games like Atari was like kind of going down a bit, and I was still like this super gamer, right? And I still love video games, but they had like this big bin of like Atari games, and they were like clearancing them out like just super low prices. And I remember getting Star Raiders there, and it came with the pad. I'm not sure if anybody's old enough to remember like Atari. So they had this one game called Star Raiders, and it like you fly a spaceship and you shoot and stuff, but you can't just use the joystick that you normally use. There's this pad, and it comes with this thing on it, and you have to press these buttons that you use to kind of maneuver your ship as well. A really cool game. It came with everything. I picked it up for like less than $5. Hey, Alan, you have a great night there, man. The keypad, exactly. You remember the keypad, right? Wasn't that the coolest thing? Unlike the Nintendo's later to come Power Glove, the keypad actually worked, and it made the game seem more immersive. I have an Atari now, actually, but I don't have a Star Raiders. I gotta get that actually. We don't have Barnes and Noble here because sadly we have Kohl's and Chapters was what's called. It's the same thing, but they actually using that whole non-compete clause. They've blocked Barnes and Noble from coming to Canada. I actually today I was watching a bunch of G4. Anybody remember G4? It was like a gaming channel, G4 Tech TV. In the early days, it was like I'd say 2003, 2004 G4. Back when you still had stuff like screensavers and like the X Plays early stuff. Or am I just the geeky person here? Power Glove really sucked. Like Power Glove's one of those things like where you either had it and you were really pissed because it didn't work, or you knew somebody that had it and you're like, well, you got the Power Glove, and they'd have this like look on their face where like, so you got it then? You actually got the Power Glove? And it's like, yeah, yeah, I got the Power Glove. And that was everybody's look whenever they had the Power Glove, and somebody that didn't have it was like, so you got the Power Glove? And they'd be like, yeah, yeah, I got the Power Glove. X-Play. Were you, Amy, did you have a crush on Morgan Webb? Like me? There's that just a me thing? Because Morgan Webb, be still my beating heart. She was, and she had that sarcastic personality too, which I utterly adore. One of the things I love about my better half is like her, she has this super sarcasticness that I love. And of course there's Blair Butler, who was like the comic book girl on there. And I remember when was Attack the Show would be on, and Sarah Lane, and then it was I think Olivia Munn came shortly after that. And of course Attack the Show had one of my favorites, had Zach Zowen, who would go on to do the music for Dead and Breakfast. And if you don't know the song, They're Come to Kill You, check it out after this video that you're right here, because They're Come to Kill You is brilliant. You know Dead and Breakfast triple feature? I love that film, by the way. Just so you know, like Dead and Breakfast, that's a favorite of mine. And I was one of those like blind buys, didn't know anything about it, never heard of it before. I don't have a Betamax. Actually, that's the only one that I don't have right now. I don't have a Betamax. I don't have a HD DVD player, and I don't have a CED. I've got a VCR, Laserdisc, of course, DVD player, Blu-ray player, and of course, 4K, because I'm not a savage. So. But I would love to have a Betamax player. Betamax had better quality than VHS did. Hemoglobin's in my mouth, y'all. Blood as sweet as moonshine whiskey. If anybody doesn't know the song, really 100%, check it out. But when I was young, like we had both, because my stepfather at the time, he was an electrician, and we had VHS. We had a bunch of them. He would buy up like the ones that were broken and fix them up. So we had a couple VHS players. We had one or two Betamax players. We had a big sound system, and it was like everything was connected to the sound system. So what I would do was I would like movies that I really liked. I would actually get those audio tapes, the old school tapes, and I would like put it into the thing, and I would actually tape the movies off and listen to them on my fancy Walkman. So especially like comedy ones like Delirious, like Eddie Murphy's Delirious and stuff like that. I knew it off by heart, which is the absolute opposite of what Eddie Murphy wants, because he doesn't want you to tell his jokes and screw them up. But which, of course, I did. What's the record amount of movies I watched tonight? Good question. I don't know. I don't think I know. But it was probably when I was younger. You like the Halloween box? Thank you. I was hoping somebody would do some people like that. But I did a lot of like slasher marathons when I was young. Like I watched all the Friday 13th, and I watched like Girls Night Out, like Night School stuff like that. So definitely, however many slashers you could watch in a 24 to 48 hour period. Do I like the you mean WWF, like the old school? Well, I grew up like in the rock and wrestling era. Like I'm older, and of course then there's WWE and the whole like Attitude Era. Get the F out, and not you, but that was a catchphrase. But right now AEW I find is way better than WWE. It's just better wrestling, and even TNA is better than WWE. TNA's gotten good again. Gallows went in there, the Good Brothers, so that's actually pretty cool. Big fan of the Gallows. Well, the Good Brothers now, so I guess I gotta say it right. And they're gonna have like EC3, which is amazing to me because WWE had the wrestler EC3, and if you don't know who that is, he's this really good wrestler who also has the ability to talk extremely well on the mic. And WWE brought him in to their company, and they took a big shovel, and they buried, and they buried, and they buried. Lobos Riders, yeah. It's a great time, but it might be an extra get Atlantis. I gotta check that out. Who's my favorite director? Hitchcock's definitely up there, man. Ah, God. See, I'm a complex person. I don't know. When I was young, I think it was Michael Curtiz. But and I go back between him and Hitchcock. As I got older and I got like looking into like a lot of like different type films, Argento was a favorite director of mine, and I loved a lot of the work that Martino did. A lot of the Italian directors. Do you have any V's? I probably do have some here somewhere, because I got a few like Japanese films and they're on like that. What about Kubrick, Scorsese? I love both Kubrick and Scorsese. They're definitely in the tops. Hitchcock's probably, if not the best, he's definitely one of the best. Hitchcock's in the street. EC3 and MJF would be an awesome tag team. They almost kind of cancel each other out with their awesomeness, because they're so similar. I love the fact you mentioned MDF, Dave. You get cool punch for that. Collect your cool points here in the Call to Cinema. Hitchcock was really good at what he did. And unlike some directors that I found could maybe be a little bit too stringent on some of the stuff that they did, Hitchcock didn't mind if like going commercial if he needed to. Spike Jonze. I like a lot of Spike Jonze like music videos, like what they did with the Beastie Boys, stuff like that. What film do I hate that everyone else loves? I got a film that I like that nobody else likes. How's that? I like Halloween Resurrection, and nobody else likes it. So I'm the only one on that one there. Hey there, John. Welcome. So, when you say DivX, are you talking about the ones where you had to get like a special player, and the movie could actually like? Yeah, I know most people don't like Resurrection. I'm pretty alone on that one. And you could literally have a movie that would like be useless. Because I remember those. Spectre. You mean the movie Spectre? I love the movie Spectre. Oh, fight sim, non-Spectre likers. Because yeah, you could get a movie and basically, you could go to the store and they like put the movie on the disc type of thing for you. It was really weird. who is it? Some people actually collect those, and you can't even watch them anymore. I guess I can see the collectability of it. Yeah, Busta Rhymes is in Resurrection, and LL Cool J is in H2O. No special features on those DivX ones, not as far as I remember. Now, there's a whole different like type DivX thing. Do you remember HD disc? I do. I wish I had some. It like see, PlayStation 3 went for Blu-ray, and they put the Blu-ray system right in the PS3. But then they made the PS3 $600 or $700, so nobody could afford to buy them, right? So for a while, it looked like HD DVDs were going to win. But Xbox did the thing where you buy an Xbox 360, and you would have to buy this add-on, which would be an HD DVD player. You hook it up to your Xbox, got a remote, and when you bought like a PS3, you get like Spider-Man. And when you bought like an Xbox, you get King Kong, Peter Jackson's King Kong. One of those was better than the other. Ric Flair Macho Man gave the best interviews. I like Jimmy Snuka because it was just insane. And of course, Ultimate Warrior, right? Hulk Hogan. I would love to have my kids here on the stream, but unfortunately my kids are working in Halifax. Oh, The Rock is a master. He's a master. Same as Chris Jericho. Like those guys are just like there's another level to that. Like which I admire. Matt Hardy, insanely good, and when he's on point, so actually is Jeff Hardy. When his whole like the Antichrist, the wrestling thing was in TNA, extremely well done. Jay Lethal did a great job. Jay Lethal was like he did Macho Man, almost better than Macho Man. It was okay. Here this comes King Kong. Sorry about that. I like that actually. Kurt Angle just was really good. Do you like Dusty Rhodes? Dying, the son of a what's the son of a plumber? Like Dying with Queens. Just so cool. He was so smooth. But Kurt Angle, some people just have it, and Kurt Angle just got it. The American Dream, baby. I cannot do Dusty Rhodes to save my life. Pure Phil. Well, I wish it was Pure Phil, because Pure Phil is the Attitude Era, but now it's just boring. It's just predictably boring. I can't see how this is surprising anybody. So I watch shoot interviews, and like I'm not sure if anybody's never got watched wrestling before. Like there's a thing that like a lot of wrestlers do, like we're basically the interview, like could be like 2, 3, 4 hours long, right? And they interview them on everything, like their entire career and all kinds of stuff. That's what a shoot interview is basically. It's just like telling the truth, hopefully. So I had like a bunch of shoot interviews at one point, and one of them was Marty Jannetty, and I turned it on. And I got like maybe 15 minutes in, and he just kind of like I felt like I needed to take a shower. He was just a bit creepy. I don't know if he's got like maybe certain issues or anything like that. I'm not sure what he's like in real life. But yeah, I've seen every episode of Dark Side of the Ring. I love that show, John. As page time watch a movie, which is insane, you know. But hey, people stream, so there you go. Were you picking a Kane, really? So you're like a Glenn Jacobs mark? You're like, Kane, he's great as Kane, but I liked him as the Christmas dude, like before, or Dr. Isaac Yankem. That's gotta come out. Have a dug into the Lindsay or Adamson set. The Adamson set, damn, I'm keeping like on the back burner for right now because there's a lot of people that are doing it, and I'm eventually going to do it myself. I want to do it with fresh eyes. But the Lindsay set, I'm completely finished, and I will be doing a review on that one very, very soon. Your best shooter, James Cornette. Jim Cornette is one of those guys. You gotta. It's like there's two people and they're polar opposites, and you've always got to watch their interviews if you're a wrestling fan at all, or even if you're not, because these guys are really fun to watch. Listen to Jim Cornette. Like put on a Jim Cornette interview. He's really entertaining, and then once you're finished with that, you go out and you put on Vince Russo. So yo, bro, you put on a Vince Russo interview, bro, and I'm telling you. I'm telling you now, bro, when you listen to the Vince Russo, it's really good. They hate each other. What are some of the worst wrestling gimmicks of all time? Well, Bastion Booger definitely goes up there. John Gonzalez, another one. Do you ever do reviews of movies after you've seen people do reviews of the same movies on YouTube? Oh yeah, because like everybody's going to have their own. Because here's the thing, everybody do I do them like directly after? Not usually directly after Gobbledygooker, yeah. But yeah, because like everybody has their own take on a film. Like you can have like 20 people doing like Star Wars Rise of Skywalker or whatever, right? Like I usually don't pick because anything is kind of as mainstream as that, but sometimes I do. But everybody like sees it differently. And as we saw here the other night, some people are very passionate about the films that they don't like or they do like. Do you know a gimmick that a lot of people don't like that I actually do like? I'm going to say this right now. The American Badass. That Taker. My favorite Taker. Can I make a video pre-recorded about the state of physical media today? Actually, yeah, that's actually not a bad idea, Sam. Thanks a lot. You like Biker Taker too? Yeah, I love Biker Taker. I am up late. I'm actually going to go to bed soon. So thanks for reminding me, because I was like going to go to bed like half an hour ago. I said, I'm only going to make a short video tonight. What, DVD region free? Well, damn, man. I didn't know either. I learned that today o'clock. Mantar. Oh, speaking of Mantar, do you guys watch What Culture? Because, not What Culture, no, sorry. Wrestle Talk. Because they do this here thing called Quizlemania. And if you have not seen it, I do recommend it. Where they have like around 4 to 5 people on, and they're doing like these really cool like wrestling quizzes. And you don't even have to like wrestling. These guys are just really entertaining. And it's hosted by Adam Blampier, who pretty much is the guy that started making wrestling popular on YouTube. Like he was the guy that did it. So one of the guys that runs the channel like was on there's Ollie Davis, and for some reason he thought of Mantar, just really Mantar. Dusty Rhodes copied Muhammad Ali. Well, Dusty Rhodes in a way. I mean, like he had this similar type of style, and kind of like that kind of flow to him. But Dusty Rhodes was his own thing too. Dusty Rhodes loved films, and he loved sports. So like when Dusty Rhodes was doing stuff, when he was booking, like for those who don't watch wrestling, of course we all know wrestling's predetermined. So here's the thing. One of the things that annoys me the most is I get people that say, "Do you know wrestling's fake?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna get into this again." Old school ECW fan. Like you mean like when you say old school, are you talking about like Eastern Championship Wrestling before it became ECW? Like extreme Championship Wrestling. The whole like, AWA. I grew up with that too. Because my grandfather and my uncle, they're both passed on right now, huge fans of that. So basically AWA, WWF, Glow, whatever came on. Like WCW, we watched it. I don't know. It's crazy talk, man. Do you know wrestling is fake? How often? Come on. Anybody that watches wrestling, and you've got to must come across somebody who said that to you. Who's like, hey, do you know? Are you aware that wrestling is fake? And I'm like, what? I am I am rating Santa right now, and we're going to talk about wrestling's not boring. Wrestling's an art form. It's stunt work, and it tells a story, and it's well done when it's well done actually. And there's different like types of wrestling too, in professional wrestling. You met Hillbilly Jim? Oh, that's kind of cool. Thanks, my sex gloves. He and Hillbilly. Yeah, I know those guys making the dough by then, man. Oh no, border on it. 100% is. A lot of wrestling fans don't like to say it. Wrestling, it's a soap opera. It is a soap. It is a soap opera, and not even you can't say it's a guy soap opera anymore. I know a lot of girls watch wrestling too, including my better half. So it's a physical soap opera is what it is. See, I go in and out, but not because of that. I mean, like because sometimes it's just not very well done. Writing has to be good with anything, like anything else, your favorite movie or your TV show that you watch, or a season of some series, like some like Arrow. Some seasons are good, some seasons aren't. Wrestling's the same way. If it's not doesn't have the right, doesn't have engaging characters, doesn't have like competent writing, and they're not performing well, then it's not going to work as well. And a lot of people, unfortunately, when they hear the word wrestling, they think predominantly of the WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. Now, WWE is probably one of the definitely I will. Thank you, John. By the way, WWE is one of those companies that that unfortunately has made like it's gotten slower, a lot kind of more methodicalized wrestling, and that can at times be very can be a bit boring. The kind of push towards bigger guys as opposed to like kind of the faster paced wrestling that you see in like an AEW or NJPW, like New Japan Pro Wrestling, or IWGP, for instance, right? But as you can tell, guys, I've been watching wrestling for many years. Street clothes. I mean, it works for some people, right, man? Like you wouldn't want to see like Sandman from ECW in a singlet, or like say Tommy Dreamer, because that's the thing. They're meant to be like street fighters. Watch the Divas. Well, there's no Divas anymore. Actually, some. Probably, there's something you should actually know. Divas no longer exist. They're actually it's the women's revolution. They actually went like fought against the whole Divas thing. Women's wrestling is really good right now. That's probably the one thing that's keeping WWE going, is their women's wrestlers are better than their male wrestlers, like very much so. Terry Taylor, the Red Rooster. I remember I used to love the Red Rooster actually. He's actually an agent, I think, on WWE right now. You were involved in? Were you really involved in ECW? That is cool, man. Brian Trash. So now your name makes sense. ECW totally makes sense. Some. So you actually saw? Oh man, you forgot about Glow. Gorgeous ladies of wrestling. Actually, the farmer's daughter. Actually, she just recently passed away. She was not old either. But yeah, like of course there's a Netflix TV show Glow, but if you've only seen that, for instance, the one with Alison Brie, then definitely there's a documentary on Glow Wrestling, which I definitely recommend you guys check out. Read comment above. Better not be about wrestling being boring. But that's the thing, like Cuba Glover, when you're doing like a review of a film, like you got to just do your own thing. Like when Cisco and Ebert were reviewing movies, then they didn't stop because like Michael Medved was reviewing it down the road. They just put their own spin on it. Do I know how to wrestle? You mean like professional? I would get my ass kicked. No, I boxed a bit. Just just for like exercise and that, really. But with movies with wrestlers in them, that's not a bad idea. My favorite, like, I was watching a show and they said, "What's your favorite movie with wrestlers in it?" I think it was like the Cinemania that was being done, and they're like thinking, "Well, there's the Rock movie and all that." I'm thinking, it's They Live. The answer is They Live. That's the favorite movie with wrestlers. Down here in the South, it's called wrestling. Oh. Hey, when Ted Turner called Vince McMahon when he got bought WCW, it's like, "Hey Vince, I'm in the wrestling business." "Well, I'm glad to hear you're in the wrestling business, Ted. I'm in the sports entertainment business." I did some martial arts, yeah, very early on, just a little bit of Taekwondo and stuff like that. Don't have any belts or anything. I didn't stick in it very long. What would happen though? My friend would stayed in it, and so he would finish, and then he would go do he would do, we'd come back and he'd do his kata, and like we'd do them together and stuff like that. That I get into. I'm Canadian. I get to fights a lot. Look at me, dude. See, I'm a scrawny person. I'm not as scrawny as now as I used to be. But when I was a kid, and like I'm gonna be bluntly honest with you, I was a big geek, and I was scarecrow thin. And do you know what that means when you're a kid and you live like in a small area, and and girls tend to like you a bit. That means that that you can get a lot of fights. And what you do is you learn to talk and you learn to be funny, so you don't have to fight so much. And that is what I did. Oh yeah, I get picked on all the time. Uh, yeah, I was a small kid. I was a small kid. I was epileptic. I from like early age on, like I couldn't speak for real. I had a big stutter. So yeah, like there was like a big like yeah, a big getting picked on. But I would not. I was never the type of person that would ever let anybody else get picked on. I didn't care about getting picked on. It just kind of rolled off my back a bit, right? But if I ever saw somebody else get picked on, that's how I got into fights. So that's how I met my friend, actually, one of my friends. When I was my friend Jamie. I wonder if he remembers this, but he was the son of the principal, of the high school, right? And so he just come to town, and so he was getting the crap kicked out of him. And he was he grew up to be a big, like 6 foot something guy, big dude, right? He is now, but then he was only young, and I'd like been there a bit, and so I was walking by, and so there was this guy, and he was like wailing on him. So wailing, so Canadian, punching, right? And I was like, "Hey, what's what are you doing?" And like, "So what's it to you?" I said, "You wanna you wanna hit me instead?" And he was like, "Okay then, you want to take his place?" And I did, and then for some reason I started laughing, like I was getting punched, but I started laughing, and it kind of freaked out the dude. We're only like young. It's a stereotype that there's a lot of fighting at Canadian hockey games. Not a lot. I mean, like not like pro hockey games, but like hockey games like on a high school level, stuff like that. Yeah, and it's usually like people come from different places. Have a great night there, Triple Feature. You're learning a lot about me now tonight, guys. You're asking like question. You're like chipping away at this cool exterior of like and finding out exactly the sad Canadian geek that I was. But yeah, there you go. Is that? Hopefully, I'm not like ruining anybody's like perception of me. Do I have any kung fu movies? Yes, I do. Not enough though. I love kung fu films. I was always a fan. I don't mind. I'm okay. I'm okay with being like the Canadian geeky type guy. I was always the writer. Like I was the artsy dude. Do I eat cactus? I didn't know that's a possible. Is that possible? I know you could like if you cut it, you get the water out and stuff, like the whole like survive in the desert type of thing. There's no cactus, I don't think, in Newfoundland, or in like even in Not in Is there cactus in Canada? Like I'm thinking, is there cactus in Canada? Honeycomb. How's the Tenant? Plansky film. Not bad. It's not my favorite of his movies. I know my dad, when he saw it in the theater, really didn't like it. Like he really hated it. But after he saw it, like I actually maybe just a couple months ago, actually, and he found that he really loved it now. So it's one that does get better with watch. Saturday morning kung fu theater. That's so cool. Wrestling. I remember like Saturday morning wrestlings. We'd have like the. Oh, that's okay. I know what you mean. Canadians with a geekness with pride. Well, the thing is, Dave, when I was a kid, the being geeky wasn't such a cool thing. Nowadays, it's like super cool. You get like jocks that are trying to be geeky and stuff like that, and you got like people like Stephen Amell who played Arrow, who is both a jock and a geek. So that's there's the thing. I would never consider myself kind of a jock, but I did love like touch football and like soccer stuff like that. I love cheese pizza. That's my favorite type. And I'd also like, I'm gonna say it. You're probably not gonna like it. I like pineapple on my pizza. I do a half and half, half double cheese, half pineapple. It's my favorite pizza. How do I compare Bruce Lee to Jackie Chan? I don't. I mean, like even though Jackie Chan did like some stunt work from Bruce Lee in like some of his films, Jackie Chan really never came into his own until he really kind of gained his own persona when he kind of wasn't doing the Bruce Lee. Hey, howdy. He wasn't doing the Bruce Lee kind of like copy thing like a lot of the Bruce Lies and stuff we're doing. Bruce Lee was very, it was like had a very different, like kind of a serious martial artist to like not the Jackie Chan. This Jackie Chan's amazing, and in some ways he like I'm gonna say it, he may have bested somewhat Bruce Lee did, and the way he did it was by making his own style. And so like Jackie Chan didn't just watch other martial artists and didn't just learn from them, like but which he did, but he also watched people like Buster Keaton and Harold Lloyd, and he learned to use movement with that. And of course, he was in the Chinese like opera as well. So my better half says like, what? Okay, who likes the movie Event Horizon? Yes, actually, Hong Kong didn't exactly think too strongly of him. Okay, you're not gonna like this. But my better half, like when she was in like university, she was like, that was like the dude bro sci-fi movie, was Event Horizon, right? So basically, like they'd be talking to myself. She'd say, "Well, do you like 2001 or do you like this type of thing?" And there'd be like all these kind of these jockey guys that were trying to be geek, like deep, and trying to show their geeky side. And they're like, "Man, I like Event Horizon. That's the real science fiction movie." While pumping their, "I like Event Horizon. It's Rise." That's gonna look horrible. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. I realize that looks wrong in so many ways. Every time I swear my Blu-ray collection. You mean like that'd be like Scrooge McDuck? That's a horrible Scrooge McDuck. But yeah, I know I have it, but a really good idea. But I scratched my Blu-rays, man. I can't do that. Cut wrestling movies recently. Grunt. Oh, Grunt is really cool. I like to hurt people. I remember that one. Do I like no Passengers is creepy as hell, man. That's the one with what's his name? Chris. the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy, right? That's where he basically is like leering at this girl and wakes her up, thereby kind of killing her. But hey, he's romantic. I figured some of the science still are. Yeah, I can get that. I grab my disc like this. I'll kind of pick him from the middle. Chris Pratt, yeah. I love Jennifer Lawrence is gorgeous. I like Chris Pratt. That movie creeps me out. It really does. It is like it's the stalker. It's the stalker movie. It's it's like and like that there's like some stalkers out there, and they're watching it and they're like, this is it. This is love. This is real love, guys. This is the way it's going to be. I'm going to wake somebody up. I'm going to, I'm going to go into somebody's house. I'm going to wake them up, and they're totally going to fall in love with me. I don't have my notice yet, guys. I'm so disappointed. I'm still waiting. I mean, like they say the 13th of August is when everything's going to be out for. Guess what? Do you know what I expect to get my shipping notice? Do you know what I expect to get that? On the 13th of August. That's when I'm going to get it. So you're going to see me unboxing it after everybody else has unboxed theirs. But, I got my own unique combination of films. So I'll be unboxing that whenever I get it, sometime in September, obviously. But I have a big Arrow unboxing coming up, and I have another unboxing coming up from Mill Creek. That's the reason that I didn't do a Mill Creek video tonight, because I want to do one. Well, actually, I might break it up into a couple, because I got a lot of Mill Creek stuff. I was talking to 13 Wolfman. He got his today too. He was very nervous about it too, and he finally got it. I definitely cannot tonight because it is too late, but I promise I'll do it soon. Because I am I'll be honest. What time is it? Oh my God, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay, guys. Yikes. All right. I work tomorrow. But I'll be honest with you, and I will be bluntly honest. I should have moved my iPad over sooner because it didn't go after I moved it. Anyway, I had a blast talking to you guys tonight. Thank you so much. You guys rock. I am Aaron. This is my movie library. I have to be careful of where I put this at so we don't keep losing stuff. For me right now, I'm going to bed, so I'm not just going to be time for hot chocolate. So, time for hot chocolate. You are the cult of cinema. You guys rock. You guys are awesome. Thank you, John, for the donation. That means a lot. And you'd be surprised how far that's going to help out. Because sometimes, that $5 donation is what kicks me over from not having money come in on my YouTube channel one month to having it come in. So, thanks a lot. Again, guys. Have a great day. May the copy with you. I kind of like that. Have a great night, and I will talk to you guys soon. I think we're either going to do the alternate media collection next, or the Mill Creek, or maybe a little bit of both. But I will see you guys soon. Have a great evening.